In this video, I'm going to be going through with you guys how a deload week can actually help you gain the muscle and gain the mass and gain the weight you want to gain, that's going to help you gain that leverage towards achieving your dream physique. And I'm going to do this through, first of all, explaining the concept of a deload week to you guys if you're unfamiliar with it. And then I'm going to go on to 3 reasons why and 3 benefits of, the deload week in general. And then the last bit of the video is we're going to go through how you can implement it to yourself and take action if you ever need a deload week. So before we just quickly get into the video, I'm just going to briefly introduce myself. So if you don't know me already, my name is Ryan and I'm on a mission to inspire and help skinny young men achieve their dream physiques and just help them gain that leverage and help them gain the mass and the muscle they want through my videos, my education and my experience. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So first of all, as I said, I want to explain the concept of a deload to you guys if you're unsure on what it actually is. So basically, it refers to a period of your training, in brackets, it says it in the name, in brackets, a week, where you reduce the intensity of your training, you reduce the volume of your training, and you reduce the weight of which you train at on the exercises you do. And this basically allows you to step away from that high intensity, pushing it to failure and putting stress on your body training that is very, very highly demanding. And you need to, the more experience you get with your training, the more intense you're going to get. So therefore, the more you need to meet those continuously increasing demands of recovery, the more, as I said, experience you get and the more intense you start training. So it's so important you meet those demands, and a deload week does exactly that through, as I said, reducing the intensity, the volume, and reducing the weight that you use in your sessions with your exercises. Okay, so now you understand the concept of a deload week and what it actually is. Let's get into the 3 reasons why it's important and the main benefits. First reason, this really nicely links with what I was saying earlier, and it links to promoting recovery and reducing fatigue. And this is so important because if you are training at high intensity for a prolonged period of time, and as I said, the more experience you get in the gym, the more intense your training sessions are going to get, and the more stress you can put on your body, and the closer to failure you're going to take your body, the more the higher demands of recovery. And what a deload does is obviously meets them demands, because as I said, lowering the intensity, weight and volume, so you're just allowing your body to actively recover. And what I mean by actively recovering is that you're still doing activity, just at a really, really low intensity, therefore still allowing the blood to get into your muscles, therefore clearing out any lactic acid or any waste product that's just built up that can enhance recovery further. Through this allows your muscles to recover faster, so by the time you actually get back to training how you usually do, you'll just want to fucking push yourself, and you'll have the physical capacity to push yourself. And in addition, reducing fatigue is so important because that means you're going to reduce your DOMs and the effects of your DOMs if you have any. And if you don't know what DOMs are, it's delayed onset muscle soreness. So essentially the soreness you get in your muscles after you train them for a certain amount of time after. I went into a lot of detail in a video about DOMs around two videos ago now, so you can go and check that out. I'll leave that in the card somewhere there. And yeah, this is just so important because if your muscles are sore, how on earth do you think that the performance of your sessions are going to be good? Therefore, how do you think that your sessions are going to be efficient and productive, and allowing your muscle to be under the stimulation it needs to be able to go under the process of muscular hypertrophy? How do you think that's going to happen if you're fatigued? It won't, because the more you're fatigued, and this links to that, the more vulnerable you're going to be to injury, so you can't put your muscle under the stimulation it needs. So yeah, the likelihood of you getting injured if you reduce your fatigue is minimal, and you're reducing you're reducing the effect of your DOMs as well, therefore you can push harder, and as I said, you're going to be more recovered. So it's just going to be more effective, more productive, more efficient, and that's just going to lead to muscular hypertrophy and you putting on muscle mass more efficiently. Okay, so I just want to give an example in an avenue of a different sport. So football, right? Football players, after every single season, and in any sport really, there's always a summer break or a break when the season ends to pre-season and when the season starts. And in this break, they're promoting recovery and reducing fatigue. And if they don't allow this to happen, just imagine if footballers were playing week in, week out every year, and as the games are increasing as well, just imagine that, then the chances of them getting injured are so much more likely, and the chances of their performance dropping is so much more likely because they're not giving their body the recovery it needs, and this just means that their levels of fatigue are gonna go up. So the level of the amount of recovery they're going to get is going to go down, and the level of their fatigue is going to go up. So this just reduces the performance and reduces the and increases the likelihood of them getting injured. And that's the exact same principle with a deload week and in the gym as well. If you don't give your muscles the recovery time it needs, then you're increasing the chances of your performance worsening in the gym, which it probably will, because as I said, you can't put the muscle under the stimulation it needs to properly grow efficiently, and by this and by training a fatigued muscle, then you're just going to increase the risk of it getting injured, right? Let's move on to the second reason why it's important. So a deload just doesn't help you recover physically, it helps you recover mentally as well. It gives you that mental revival that we all need. And what I mean by this is when you feel tired and when you've got DOMs and when you need rest and recovery, your mentality towards the gym, you're not in the right headspace and you don't want to train, and that's completely understandable. And don't get me wrong, even when we have the physical capacity to train, sometimes we don't really want to go to the gym, but we have to push through, and that's how you make gains. But this is a completely different ball game. When you don't have the mental capacity as well as the physical capacity, then that's when you need to rest. And what this deload week does, as I said, reducing that intensity, that volume and that weight, just allows it allows your mind and your body just to take a huge break from it all, because as I said, putting your body under a lot of stress for a prolonged period of time isn't not just physically you don't have the physical capabilities for that, but you also don't have the mental capabilities for that. So giving your mental a break as well, and giving your mind a break from having to push yourself and getting your mind and getting into that mindset is super important. And what this does is, by the time you get to the end of your deload week, and by the time you can get to back to when you actually train like you normally do, pushing hard, pushing near to failure, giving the muscle the stimulation it needs, and putting your body under the pain it needs to grow, then you're mentally going to be there. You're going to be in the right headspace, and you're going to want to fucking push yourself, and you're going to have that drive and that desire to just go balls deep into every single set you do. And this is going to be so effective for muscle growth, right? Okay, so now on to the third and final reason, mainly why a deload week is so important and its benefits. So it provides that hormonal balance. And what I mean by this is when you put your body under stress for a prolonged period of time, it disrupts your hormone production and your levels of your hormones in your body. For example, so this will this being fatigued and being tired and not having a deload week can disrupt the production of your hormones, such as your testosterone and your growth hormone. And through a deload week, obviously, as I said, it re-optimizes those hormone levels and balances them out, so the production of those hormones are optimized. And this is so important because these hormones contribute towards muscle repair and therefore optimizing the process of muscle growth. So a deload week just provides that hormonal balance, and if you don't have a deload week and if you don't give your body enough time to rest, then that can be affected in the long term, and obviously that can affect long-term muscle growth. And having low testosterone and low growth hormone can affect your life in different avenues, but I'm not going to go into that because I'm not an Andrew Huberman. But I know this stuff and the effects it has, so it's so important that you allow your body to have the time off to be able to re-optimize those hormone levels and rebalance those hormone levels, because that helps your muscle growth and the gains going forward. And also, obviously, it helps your performance in the gym. The more testosterone you have, the more motivated and more energetic you're going to feel, therefore the more you're going to want to push yourself into the gym. And this also helps your mentality as well. If you have really low testosterone, which you shouldn't have as a skinny young man, but if you do, then you're not going to have the mentality of wanting to push yourself all the time, and you're going to feel lazy and you're going to feel demotivated. So all of these benefits, they intertwine and they benefit each other, and they complement each other. That's it. They're complementary benefits. So now we've gone over the three benefits of a deload week. Let's get into how you can actually implement and put a deload week into your life whenever you need it. So as I said, like 3-4 times in this video, a deload week consists of reducing your intensity in the session. So for example, if you're doing supersets and drop sets in your session, drop them and just do normal sets. If you're resting between sets for 30 seconds because of that high intensity, increase that to a minute or a minute and a half between every set. And if you're pushing to failure, 90% to 100% to failure, push 60 to 65% to failure in your sessions, for example. And with the weight, if you're doing 30 kg on incline dumbbell press, for example, go back down to 22.5 kg and get more reps, and or go down to 20 kg, stuff like that, reducing the weight and reducing the intensity and the volume in terms of reducing the amount of sets you do and reducing the amount of exercises you do. For example, if you usually do 5 back exercises to train your back, then maybe push it down to 4 or even 3. It's just about keeping the muscle active, and as I said, active recovery consists of really low intensity exercise, so you don't want to be pushing and you don't want to be doing too much. Therefore, reducing the number of exercises you do is it can be important towards making sure this deload week is sufficient enough for you. And how often should you deload week? This is probably one of the main things in the video, so listen up. So it's suggested that you should do a deload every 6 to 8 weeks, and I do really agree with this, because I feel like after between 6 to 8 weeks, you know, the constant intense hard training can take a toll on your body. And I would suggest, right, you don't have to take a deload week every 6 to 8 weeks. I'm currently on a deload week right now, and that is one of the main reasons why I'm making this video and why I think it's important for you guys to know. But I don't think every 6 to 8 weeks, you don't have to do it every 6 to 8 weeks. I would suggest, doing a self-assessment every 6 to 8 weeks and just listening to your body and just decide whether you need a deload week or not, right? I feel so fatigued. Well, I did at the start of the week, and now I'm halfway through my deload week, but I knew I needed a deload week, so I took a deload week. And I'll be honest with you, it has not been 6 to 8 weeks since the last time I took a deload week. It's just about listening to your body, because everyone is different. Not everyone is going to need a deload week every 6 to 8 weeks, but gauge it off that and listen to your body and just have a deload week when you feel like you need it. Because if you have a deload week when you don't need it, then there's not much of a point. You're sort of wasting time. But yeah, so just gauge it off the 6 to 8 week mark and the 6 to 8 week time frame, and you'll be optimally having deload weeks. And another thing, you don't want to be having them too often as well, because if you're having them too often, then you're going to be lowering the intensity of your sessions too often, you're going to be lowering the weight too often, and you're going to be lowering the volume too often. And this can lead to getting comfortable with all of this stuff, and your training intensity and all of that stuff goes down, and then therefore your progression goes out the window, and your rate of progression just becomes extremely slow, and you won't get the results you want to. So that's another thing, just don't have them too often and don't get comfortable with having deload weeks. So now on to the final thing I want to talk about in this video. So whilst you have a deload week, the thing you all need to take advantage of in a deload week is working on your form and your technique. Okay, so my phone died whilst I was filming that, and it's just recharged now, so I'm going to carry on from what I was saying. So going lighter just allows you to work on your technique better. It allows you to be able to prioritize your technique more, because you're going lighter and there's less resistance to your muscles, therefore you're going to have more control of it, and it's just easier to work on your technique. And if you can master that technique and take that back into your normal training, and when you're going heavier, then you're going to have more muscle stimulation, and you're going to be able to fatigue your muscle more and take it towards the failure it needs to be able to undergo that muscular hypertrophy it needs to go under in order to grow. So that marks the end of the video. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video and truly learned something, and if you have, it would mean a lot to me if you could drop a like and a comment any new video ideas or anything you want me to talk about to educate you with, why not, and drop a subscription so the algorithm can recommend me to you more if you want to learn more about bodybuilding and how to transform yourself from that skinny young man to stepping on them stepping stones towards achieving your dream physique. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Whoop.